Some of you may remember the video that I did for the Forca Fera set from Old School Customs / White Elephant Toys and Red Laser's Army. Well, we were supposed to get file cards with those figures, and it took a while for them to come out, but look what I got. I got a stack of file cards here, and they were shipped in file card holders, little protectors to keep these things safe. And I have to say, they look fantastic. They really do. The Forca Fera file card set, and this goes over the 12 figures that were in the set. There's one file card for each figure, and I'll just go over, skim over it a little bit for you guys here. The seal, code name, Piranhas. Online Piranha recruitment ad. The Piranhas training program will stress you beyond your limits and make sure you're worthy to serve. What is it? I'm having a little bit of trouble here. To serve with one of the world's most elite fighting forces. Be prepared, stay focused, and understand that you are volunteering for. Understand what you're volunteering for. Piranha training prepares you for the extreme physical and mental challenges of Forca Fera missions. If you're up to the challenge, you'll be in incredible physical shape and possess the confidence and determination and skills needed to succeed in today's combat environment. Stay low, go fast, kill first, die last. One shot, one kill. No luck, all skill. And that's for these guys, the Forca Fera Seals. And I do have that figure, but I'm not going to dig it out and show it right now. I'm going to case these guys up in some of my custom cases here, and I'll put the file card on the back as it is designed for them to fit. Now I might actually leave it in the holder and just put some double-sided tape back there for it. The back of the file cards are blank. I'm actually thinking about making some Forca Fera card backs. We have the next figure, Frogmen. There we go. Codename Squids. Andrei Tretkov formed the Squids in the 1980s to lend Russia's support to the growing Forca Fera international team. Although squids are formidable on land, they prefer to spend their lifetime in the water. Trained to combat land and sea operations, behind enemy lines, underwater combat, mining, and clearance diving, these units include combat swimmers tasked to protect ships and other fleet assets from enemy underwater special forces. The precise composition, activities, and location of the unit are strictly classified. And he's added a little bit of a quote down here at the bottom, as with the other card and this stack of cards. The enemy can beat us, torture us, and kill us, but they can never make us quit. So, you know, I'm still standing firm in my stance that the future of G.I. Joe collecting lies within third-party makers. And third-party makers, we have a few different ones. This particular guy is making individual characters that are actually, they have a persona, whether it's a troop builder or a regular character in the series that he put out, which he's adding to, by the way. He's still adding figures to this. Some of the third-party makers, they make troop builders, like Black Major Toys, made this bat, and others focus on like actual characters with storylines. And but like I said, I'm a firm believer that the future of this line, especially O-ring figures, lies within the third party. I don't think that we'll ever see O-ring figures come from Hasbro again. Combat Engineer, codename Bang Bang. Check him out. Codename Bang Bang. File name Brody Lawson. Bang Bang was driving a Bobcat by the age of 5, By the age of 15, he was street racing on the back roads of Alabama. Tried his hand at drag racing for a while, but was always looking for bigger and more powerful things to drive. Joining the military solved that problem, and soon he was driving the biggest, baddest vehicles around. He used to tell folks during a fight, you're only going to hear two sounds, bang, bang. First bang is when I hit you, second bang is when you hit the floor. Proficient with all NATO and Warsaw-packed small arms. If it has at least one wheel and something to steer with, I can drive it. And that's a really good looking figure as well. Most of these figures are constructed using the same style as the original 13 G.I. Joe figures from 1982-83, the swivel arm figures. I don't think that they made any straight arm in this series, but moving on to the next one, we have the enemy ground troop, the Naodeako, and this is just a troop builder, a bad guy troop builder. Only the most hardened criminals and psychos join the apprenticeship called Naodeako, not Steel. These troops eat, sleep, and live for battle. Their raucous battle cry, one more dance along the razor's edge. Almost dead yesterday, maybe dead tomorrow. Engaged in battle, glorious battle today. Dealers in death who aren't afraid of the final confrontation are difficult to defeat. Thrown out on the front lines like fresh meat ready for slaughter or to be slaughtered. The Naodeako make the ultimate soldiers. And their quote at the bottom of the card is, "We are unwavering legions of the damned. We were born to kill, and death is our destiny." This figure was made using that is the original Snake Eyes head mold. It might be the entire figure. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to check it out and get back with you on that. So the next one that we have is the Enemy Command, and it's almost the same figure, but the torso is different. The torso, and I believe the arms are different as well. Commandante Naodeako, Commander of Not Steel, are the elite commanders of Naodeako and answer solely to Dr. Diablo. The mental and physical torture one must endure to obtain this rank is unimaginable to most. Locked in solitary confinement for a year, starved, beaten, brainwashed, and extreme physical training are just some of the nightmares recruits go through just during tryouts. 4 out of 5 applicants die during the application process, which make the survivors hard as steel right out of the gate. The pain is temporary. The pride is forever. So I think he did a really good job writing the bios on these cards. They're pretty in-depth and detailed file cards for these figures and these characters. Intelligence Officer Einstein. This is a good guy, I think. File name Logan Bryant. Einstein got his name from some bullies in high school. Einstein got his name from some bullies in elementary school. Being good at school and smaller in stature gave them the impression Einstein would be an easy target. After he licked 4 of them at once on the playground, he never had another problem. When a freak accident ended his baseball career, he decided to join the military. Proficient in NATO and Warsaw-packed light and heavy machine guns, speaking 6 different languages helps Einstein blend in with locals and get information on enemy troops. And his quote is, "You better give your heart to Jesus, 'cause your butt is mine." Moving on to the next, we have the evil scientist, Dr. Diablo. File name, unknown. Dr. Diablo leads the Naodeako team because it allows him to perform his gruesome experiments in the jungles of Brazil without fear of repercussions. Specializing in genetic sequencing and mutation, he has experimented with theories that are abhorrent to scientific community and humanity alike. His goals are to create mindless killing machines that will help him take over the terrorist organizations he works for and start his own. The recruits who join Naldeaco often become genetic fodder for his diabolical schemes. And his quote at the bottom is, "What better weapon than human DNA, cut up and stitched back together into something new?" So we have weapons expert Death Star. Now keep in mind, Forca Fera is a Tiger Force themed set of figures. That's why you have the bright, not all of them have bright colors, but the tiger stripe theme throughout the figures. Liam Sorrell, starting with law enforcement explorers program in high school, Liam quickly found out he had a desire to fight injustice. Graduating at the top of his class, he went into the field of experimental weapons development. When he's not laying down some funky bass riffs, he's in the lab creating new weaponry for Forca Fera. He uses his love for comic books and science fiction to come up with some crazy weapons systems, proficient with all NATO Warsaw Pact small arms, and anything else that makes a loud boom. And the quote at the bottom of the card for this guy is, "Use all the quantitative data you can, and you still have to use your own judgment." And that is Death Star. And up next we have the Infantry Tracker. His name is El Fantasma, and his final name is Miguel Angel. And that's unconfirmed, it says. El Fantasma has been involved in the takedown of drug cartels since the early 1980s. He was rumored to be on the task force that shot and killed Pablo Emilio Escobar and his bodyguard in 1993. He has an extreme dislike for drugs, as his wife and kids were killed by the cartels in Mexico. He is an expert tracker. Once he is on your trail, you have no hope of escape. Labeled El Fantasma, the Ghost, by locals after he took down a whole village of drug traffickers in Juarez, Mexico, without ever being seen. If there's no pain, there's no fear. If there's no fear, then you're not being effective. That is El Fantasma. So next we have a commando. So this guy is just a troop, but he has a name. His name is Styx. File name, Evan Reed. Styx was a skateboarder and played drums in heavy metal bands growing up. He wandered around the country for a while in a VW bus before enlisting after a bet. Skilled in the use of edged weapons and all NATO and Warsaw Pact small arms. Don't let that handsome face fool you. Styx can chew up a handful of nails and spit out bullets. Little is known about the fight that earned him his nickname. Judging from the number of body bags, it was a hell of a fight. I wouldn't ask him about it, though, if I was you. And the quote at the bottom of the card is, "Why go around an obstacle when you can go through it?" That is Styx. And again, the backs of the cards are blank. These are about the same thickness as the custom cards that I make. Helicopter pilot, and this is just a regular troop builder for the good guys, and the code name is Rotorhead. I think that it's a regular troop. I could be wrong. We'll find out by reading the card. If your idea of fun is jumping out of a helicopter at 12,000 feet while under live fire, this is the job for you. Just another day at the office for these guys. Okay, these guys, that alludes to the fact that it's a troop builder. If you don't have some gravel in your guts and a little spit in your eye, you don't stand a chance. Rotorhead pilots have been known to play hot potato with live grenades. At one time, they were part of a well-known terrorist group. After a mission where they were abandoned out in the jungles of Brazil, they decided to join Forca Fera. We're glad they did. And the quote at the bottom, "War is cruelty. The crueler it is, the sooner it is over." And these guys are made on the molds of the Cobra troops. Last but not least, we have the Commandos, which is another troop builder. I think, and again we'll find out in the file card. Codename Urban Strike. The Urban Strike team is an elite counterterrorism team made up of U.S. commandos, British commandos, and Russian Spetsnaz, and Israeli Shayetet 13. They've been deployed in many conflicts dating back to the first Iraqi-Kurdish war in September of 1961. Forca Fera puts the Urban Strike team in any situation where an advantage is gained inch by inch, street by street. The only way to quit the team is in a body bag. After enlistment, new identities are given to recruits and their families to protect them from hostile reprisals. And the quote at the bottom of the card is, "Bolt actions speak louder than words." That's a cool figure. Another one that's made on the Snake Eyes action figure mold. So there we have the original 12 figures that came out. And again, he's releasing more figures here and there. Like the Diaboliques that I did a video on separately. That figure came with a file card and is one of Dr. Diablo's experiments. It's the werewolf type guy. But again, I'll reiterate the fact that I believe that the future of the O-ring action figure and G.I. Joe-esque figures lies within the third party. There's a lot of collectors out there that want nothing but O-ring figures, and Hasbro is probably never going to make O-ring figures again. I don't know if it's cost effectiveness or what. Don't get me wrong, I love modern figures. I love the detail that goes into them. I think they're great looking figures, but you know, the playability is not really there for me, in my opinion. I don't play with many of them. I have one loose figure that's a modern, and it's the Snake Eyes. And I mean, he's all right. He's pretty cool. He's very posable. But yeah, I wholeheartly feel that it lies within the third party. So if you are a third party maker or a customizer, props to you. If I can pick up your product, do a review, believe me, I will. Be sure to hit me up on this video if you have something you want me to talk about or review. So be sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos. I have plenty more coming.